like Star Wars, right? Like I'm such a huge Star Wars fan. And
I'm so sorry.
I know, right? I'm sorry for your loss.
The woke culture that destroyed Star Wars just... I could never get over The Last Jedi. I'm on that side. I haven't watched it since it came out. The night I watched that and all the woke culture, I'm just like, why? Star Wars isn't about woke culture. Star Wars is about family, drama, things going on. Luke had daddy issues. Anakin, good versus evil. Leia, she kissed her brother.
Yeah,
I guess
weird.
people could relate to that, I guess. But what about this weird woke stuff that's all of a sudden, I'm like, why did you do this to Star Wars? Sometimes I cry. I'm just kidding.
I don't.
But I really was pissed.
I don't think The Last Jedi got super woke. A lot of people say that. I'm like, sure, they had...
Dude, with the purple hair.
Yeah. But that's one lady, man.
Dude.
Admiral Gender
all
Studies.
over the place. Like, women were dominating. They had Poe look like a moron. You know,
it was weird.
It was weird, bro. And it just wasn't good. Like, they demeaned all the men. Luke Skywalker was just a nobody.
Look at we've talked about this a million times back when pop culture still existed.
Mm-hmm.
Now everything's just, Antifa and Trump. But
let's talk pop culture, dude. Everything's invaded right now. Everything.
So a really good example of what counters the Last Jedi is Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. In Wonder Woman, the men were badass, and so was she, and so were the Amazons. Mm-hmm. It was a bunch of heroic people of all different types.
Yep.
That's all that mattered. Mm-hmm. And then you look at...
And it was a good movie.
It was.
Like John Boyega, he complains, I think my character wasn't that well because, I'm black, right? I'm like, no, it's because it's because the screenwriters suck. It's because the movie, the story just was not great. It wasn't good. It's not because the color of your skin.
Don't take it personal, dude.
I got to tell you, man, I've watched a bunch of movies where I'm just like, I don't understand why this is the direction they went in. So I just watched the new Bill and Ted. Mm-hmm. Have you seen the new Bill and Ted?
Not yet.
And I'm kind of like, they almost got me mad. So I can't spoil the movie because I did like it.
Spoiler alert.
And Keanu Reeves is awesome.
He's always awesome.
And it was Bill and Ted 3, and it was funny.
Yeah.
I don't think it was as good as the first two because I think it was like a nostalgia thing. I don't want to spoil it, but they do dive into SJW. I can't say what it is because the movie just came out. But they it looks like they're nose diving, and I'm like, you can't be serious. And they pull it back, and I'm like, all right, that's okay, I guess. Because I'll just put it this way, it almost negates, like, retcons the original movies.
Yeah.
Bill, you're familiar with it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they added a change, and I'm just like, don't you do it, don't you? They kind of did it.
And I think millennials will relate to this. It's like, we love authentic things. I just love anything that's authentic. If it's handmade, whatever. If it's made digitally, but you made it, like, I love it. And it's like, the stories nowadays, they're not authentic. They're engineered. Even George Lucas hit on this. Like, all of the stories, all Hollywood, everything's engineered. It's pre-planned just for ratings, just for the box office. How much money is it going to make? We make decisions based off of money. And that's what happened in Star Wars. And it's like, why can't I just have an authentic, amazing story that uplifts my soul and doesn't make me feel bad for not being not woke enough? Like, it's like this always.
Hey.
I'm being guilt tripped always in every movie, every TV, every podcast, everything that's in woke culture. It's like, you're not woke enough, so you need to be more woke. And if you're not going to be woke enough, then you're a racist. And it's like, why is that our media now? Why is that Hollywood?
That's cultural Antifa. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Cultural Marxism.
So, I mean, I don't want to call it that. Mm-hmm. What is that? What is that school of thought that talks about? It's the something school. I don't remember. I look at this as you've got the physical and the more abstract. Mm-hmm. In the physical world, you have far leftists going around burning things down, destroying things, screaming, and they're like Commander Red falling into the fetal position.
Frankfurt School.
Sorry,
you put me on the spot there. I forgot what state it was.
And then you have in the cultural spaces, they're burning down and destroying cultural institutions and icons and our social norms. I look at the example at my go-to. I think I already referenced it earlier. Is Into the Spider-Verse. Mm-hmm. You saw that movie, right? It's relatable. I'm not a Afro-Latino kid growing up in the city, but he's a regular kid going through things where I'm just like, I can understand this. And I think about these movies that do really bad, like The Last Jedi. Think about sitting around with your friends, male and female, black and white, Asian, Mexican, whatever, Latino, and you're like, I don't know anybody who acts like that. Like, the men in, like, the dudes I hang out with aren't bumbling morons who hate women.
Yeah.
Dude, I've had
exactly.
I've had an SJW like that I worked with ask me how many of my male friends are okay with rape. They think this way. Then they make movies based off of these psychotic assumptions. Yeah. Like, have you ever met a man and like hung out with them? It's like, I'm sitting here, I'm a dude, I'm in front of you. What makes you think I would feel that? So that's insane to ask.
Yep.
But they read these things online, they read these garbage articles, they get these lectures, and then they create this worldview that doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like when we're talking about propaganda earlier with like Antifa, they live in this world that's been manufactured. It's almost like, imagine if people were running around with Harry Potter robes and flicking wands at people, screaming Voldemort was coming.
Yep.
That's the same thing as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, because that's their ideology, and they've bought into the lie that Donald Trump is the leader of the oncoming Fourth Reich. Like, so people, no, I want people to understand, like, these people honestly believe. They honestly believe.
I do believe they truly believe it.
They do believe that they're fascists. They believe Donald Trump is a fascist. They believe the Fourth Reich is coming. This is why they do what they do. So they're always on the offense. They're always on the offense because of that. And that's why they do what they do. And people need to understand, like, why, you know, like you described earlier, why, what do you mean they'll just run up to someone, accuse them to be a Nazi and just beat them up? Because their ideology has trained them to believe that there's an enemy out there that wants to put them in gulags. There's an enemy out there that
they
wants
want to do the gulags.
Put them in
Not us.
concentration. Exactly.
They're projecting on that one.
They are history, right? Stalin. Whenever communists would subvert another country, when they would target another country, who would the communists pose as in that country? Anti-fascists.
Right.
And they would do that. They would claim to be the very thing that they are defending against.
But we got some super chats. First, we got Jay Mack. He says, some of the best in-depth criticisms of modern movies come from Mahler. He does funny videos called Unbridled Rage, but also more serious deep dives that are really helpful for anyone interested in the medium or just in storytelling. Cool.